God's going to give you merry ministry, merry energy, and give you time to worship at his feet and be replenished while you're still functioning. Huh? Now, it's going to be through mid-air refueling. He's going to do it through mid-air refueling. What are you talking about? You know, there are these aircrafts that have the potential that the aircraft can at one time refuel other aircraft while they're still in motion. Huh? It used to be that they only had planes that could refuel one at a time. But now they've got planes that can refuel 3 at the same time. There are 2 in that picture, and that big aircraft has enough fuel to fuel the other aircraft, and there could be even a third one behind that one while they're in the mid-air. And it's important that they do it while they're in air so that they don't lose their intensity, so they don't lose their advancement, so they don't get off course from their mission. And so rather than they're having to come down to keep going, he said, I'm going to come to them and I'm going to refuel them from right where they are. My God, I wish somebody would get the revelation. It's going to be through mid-air refueling, because God is El Shaddai and he's the many-breasted one. He is almighty in power. He is the source of nourishment, and just like the plane that can refuel 1 or more at the same time, God is not limited to refueling 3, but God has the power that he can refuel everybody who is called by his name. He can refuel everybody at the same time. He's got power enough to refuel the ushers. He's got power enough to refuel the elders. He's got power enough to refuel the parking attendants. He's got power enough to refuel the ministers. He's got power enough to refuel the teaching team. He's got power enough to refuel the evangelistic team. He's got power enough to refuel the worship team at the same time. He said, I got the power that I can come to you. I am a vessel, and all I've got to do is have you to reach out unto me. And while you're still functioning as who you are, God said, I'm going to refuel you. I'm going to re-energize you. I'm going to give you nourishment. I'm going to provide for you everything you need, everything that's going to supply your strength and energy. He said, I'm going to do it while you're still functioning. Do I have 2 or 3 here today? He's going to give you strength for the journey. That's why Matthew 11:28 said, come to me, all you who are weary and heavy laden and burdened, and I will give you rest. Somebody say rest. So God desires for us to build our faith. He wants to strengthen our hands for ministry work. And he wants to usher more and more ministry into our lives. And so entering kingdom rest is really the equivalent of experiencing the restoration of destiny. I wish I could get somebody in here right now. This year, God is restoring some destinies. Everything that the enemy tricked you out of, everything the enemy deceived you out of, everything the enemy tried to clip you out and cause you to miss in the past, this is going to be the year where God is restoring your destiny. I wish I could get somebody in here today. This is the year that God said, I'm bringing it back. My God, I'm going to cause it to come and to work in your favor. Turn over, if you will, to Joel chapter number 2 and verse 25. He says, so I will restore to you the years that the swarming locust has eaten, the crawling locust has eaten, the consuming locust and the chewing locust, my great army which I sent among you. He said, you shall eat in plenty and be satisfied, and praise the name of the Lord your God, who has dwelt wondrously with you. I wish I could get somebody. I'm not just talking about some stuff that got overturned last year. I'm talking about some things that you missed some years ago, some things that got thrown off track some time ago, I'm telling you that when God brings us into this kingdom rest, he said, I'm restoring the years. I'm restoring the time. Everything, my God, listen, the enemy has tried to chew in onto your destiny. The enemy has tried to overthrow you in your victory. The enemy has tried and has deceived many people out of their purpose. But God, my God, this kingdom rest is going to be the restoration of destiny. Everything God has assigned you to be, everything God has called you to be. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, get ready. God said, I'm bringing it back in this year. I'm bringing it back in this year. You begin to reflect on some things that you missed. Even there were some things that you announced that were going to happen that didn't manifest. He said, I'm restoring, because the locust and the chewing worm, the biting worm, they all came and tried to destroy what it was that I was doing in your life. Well, can I give somebody a little help this morning? That the only reason that the swarming locusts came, the crawling locusts came, the consuming locusts came, the chewing locusts came, was because there was a harvest for them to come to. My God, you got to understand that locusts don't run to a barren field. You got to understand grasshoppers don't go nowhere where there's nothing to eat. And so that's the reason that they showed up in the first place, is because God had already ordained who you were to be. He's already put it in you from the foundation of the world. He already understood your purpose and your calling and your assignment and every good thing that he had given unto you. And the enemy came, the enemy saw it, and the enemy came to start biting away at it. But God said, this year I'm restoring to you all the years that, my God, if you weren't somebody, if there wasn't something in you, the enemy would never show up your way. My God, if you didn't have a destiny assigned to your name, the enemy would never show up in your family. If you didn't have purpose in your life, the enemy would never show up in your marriage. The enemy would never try to get you distracted from your gifting if your gifting was not so that God caused there to be room made for you. And so the enemy caught and peeped what your destiny was and did everything in his power to destroy it. But God said, when you come into this rest, I am restoring. Come on, somebody. I am restored. The only reason that rascal shows up now is because there's something to get. If you didn't, my God, if you didn't have the power of God working in you, the enemy could go on about his business. You wonder why you deal with what you deal with is because of the greatness that's on the inside of you. You wonder why it is that it seems like, my God, I'm saved, I'll not have these struggles and challenges. My God, you saved, that's why you're having these struggles and challenges, because the enemy knows there's some goodie to go get. I wish I could get somebody. He knows that if I can eat up your business vision, if I could eat up your calling, if I could eat up your ministry, if I could eat up your assignment, then I can get everything thrown off and the gospel of the kingdom won't go forth. But somebody decree the devil is a liar. I decree God is restored. Somebody say God's restoring it. He's restoring it. All the years, every bit of it. God said, I'm bringing you in the kingdom rest so that it will be restored. Somebody shout restored. Every place the enemy tricked you, deceived you out of, restored. Your health, your marriage, your occupation, your ministry. Somebody shout, restore. This is the year for restored destiny. Get ready. Get ready. As a matter of fact, go ahead and make some room for it. Go ahead and prepare. There were some things that you were coming your way and you couldn't figure out what happened. It seemed like they slipped off the pavement. But I want you to understand, go ahead and make a little room, make a little room, make a little room. Prepare for what God is speaking into you. I shall cause it to come to pass, saith the Lord of hosts. Somebody needs to get your marriage and get ready to bring it into rest. Somebody needs to get your family and get ready to bring it into rest. Somebody needs to get your occupation and your vision and your business plan to bring it into rest. Somebody needs to get that witty invention God's been giving you to bring it into rest. Somebody needs to get your health and bring it into rest. Somebody needs to get your ministry and bring it into kingdom rest. Because it's all for the good and the glory of kingdom advancement. Now, Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Somebody say hallelujah. Hallelujah. My God, I'm ready. Come on, somebody say I'm ready. I've been waiting on this. I've been expecting this. I got discouraged because